this work-life thing is balance. Like the whole thing, though, the thing that brings it all together, the key word is balance. It has to be even and equal on all sides. It doesn't have to be the same size on all sides, but as far as like the toll that it brings to you and your spirit, it has to be equal on all sides. So I learned that I had a problem with work-life balance when I was in my last relationship, and and quiet as it kept, bro. The same thing that was considered a problem in that relationship to my my previous significant other, it's not a problem now.
Ooh, okay.
Like I always.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me. Not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player. I was made to build a game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast with the elephant as always. Welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And we're back in the lab once again at 4:51 a.m. on this Thursday. Started a little later than usual, having some technical difficulties. But everything seems to be working fine now, hopefully. So yeah, before we get started, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all and we want y'all to just get a word so you guys can just be motivated to be better than y'all were yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you been, sir?
I'm glad I texted you last night because I would have been pissed if I got up this morning and had my day planned out, and you interrupt me on some foolishness, talking about you ready to get on and ain't give me no heads up, no warning, no nothing. Bro, you know I'm old. I can't fraggle like that no more, bro.
I understand. Yeah, my little wireless adapter boy done played out on. I don't even understand how it. Maybe I was pushing it too hard or something,
It happens.
I was just like,
that's normal wear and tear, bro. Don't even trip.
thanks. But like, what was it doing to get the wear and tear? You just
it was working. It was doing its thing. It was on. It was
That's
on.
true. That's true.
You got like a certain amount of life for every piece of equipment. And they all reach the end of their time, even humans.
That's true. Well, very much so true. Very much so true. But yeah. Had a little setback, but luckily, because I was planning on running a straight cable up here anyway, so I did have that like 30-foot long cord just sitting in the background waiting to be used.
They had that joint running up the stairs, people tripping over it, trying to go up and down, man.
That's what I got going on right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So man, I got the clips for it though. What I was gonna do, I was gonna run it up the wall, go across the little ceiling to go to the stairs, and then run it up on that little lip where it's like that empty space, and then it's like a little railing. Run it through here, bring it across the wall, and then I measured it out and everything. I was like, I need 35 exact. So yeah, we do what we got to do to make it work, y'all. We do what we got to do.
Yo, y'all pray for this dude.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, man.
God, I thought you went and got another one.
Nah. I couldn't find it in Walmart.
Well, that's the problem right there. You went to Walmart.
I mean, look. I don't got many options. It was either Walmart, which is 20-minute drive, or take a 45-minute drive all the way up to Civilization, as Courtney would say, to go to like Best Buy or something.
Yeah, that's a real thing. That's real. That's real. Or you could have bought the joint online, and even though you wouldn't have got it before we started recording. I mean, there were options. You could have recorded on Friday. You know, it would be here today.
True.
That joint would be here today. So they said that the best time to plant a tree is now. It's not in the future. It's now. Like the best time to plant a tree is right now. Like
I feel that. But yeah. Like I said, we do what we gotta do. We on time a little bit.
Stairs, man. They're trying to report that on the next podcast. Shit.
Come back, y'all see me in a whole sling cast on everything.
It'd just be like the whole full body boy, just laid in the bed and put the microphone next to your mouth. You tell Courtney to set you up at 4:00 in the morning. She'd put the microphone all in your face.
That is crazy. But yep. How's your week been, sir?
It's been just a regular week, man. Just ain't nothing going on too much, man. Just been I've been trying to fulfill this balance that we here to talk about today. That's why I was like, yo, we just go ahead and start it, bro. I don't even need a preamble to that. Let's just go ahead and get into it. But yeah, man. Just been trying to keep up on a few things, man. However, that balance has also gone out of whack because I forgot about school for a second. I don't know how the hell that happened. So I gotta. Luckily, my stuff ain't due until tonight. Tomorrow morning, pretty much at like 2:00 in the morning, because my professor, she live on the West Coast, so I got a 3-hour. I got a 3-hour buffer, so I'm gonna take full advantage of that.
Come on.
Yeah.
Lucky. My jinx be like, it's done. It needs to be turned in at 11:59 or 8 no PM. Yeah, because after that it'll be into the AM. And then and I'd be sitting there at like 10 or something, got 2 hours left trying to do
a one of the perks of going to a school that ain't even nowhere near you. So like stuff that's due for the school, it's the school is in Mountain Time, which is 2 hours behind us. And my instructor is 3 hours behind us. So my instructor be asking for stuff. And when she asks for stuff, and it ain't like, how do I put this? Because I ain't trying to make it seem like she doing things off book or nothing. But like if it's like part of the curriculum, it's due on school time. But if she like asks us to do like extra credit stuff, yeah, it's due on her time. So either way, I'm in the future.
So yeah, definitely take full advantage of that, because those extra couple of hours could really change the difference. That is interesting. That is crazy. I wish I had something like that, because usually it was I would come right off work, take my shower, get settled in, eat dinner with Court, so that'd be around like 8 something, and then I basically have if I choose to watch a show or something with her, I'd say either around like 9 or something, I'd try to get up here, do some work, or probably like close to 10, and then give myself like 2 hours to try to do something. Yeah,
podcast.
Trying to have that. I was gonna slide into the topic with that. Trying to balance it all, like, and then I even tried to do this before and ended up still ain't nothing less. Still trying to, burn the candle at both ends, trying to do work full time, school full time, and then balance that whole relationship or do that full time. It takes a toll. And what is crazy is like people get into that mindset because of they see people like that. and they think the only way to be successful is to, be like this hermit crab loner, just be by themselves for X amount of years until they become successful, and then try to branch out and do all those other things like start a relationship or follow their dreams or something.
All right, so let's back it up for a second. So I know that most of the stuff that I bring to this podcast, and like just me being just being real, like it's like some stuff that I experienced, or like a story that like something that I actually went through, and usually like me just living my life in general and trying to figure this thing out. I end up coming up with stories, like coming back to the podcast with something that happened to me. So are we gonna go? Are we gonna go transparent and come to a general statement as to why you brought this to the podcast, or we just gonna move forward?
We could do a statement like I said.
Did you come up like? Did it come out of thin air or something? Or you just got an example or something, bro? Like, come on, man. Podcast, bro. Get the people
I
what they
was
want.
just going through a list of topics, and I was just like, well, I wrote out a list of topics, and I was like,
Thin
hey,
air. Got it.
I was like, we ain't talk about work-life balance, and then I started thinking of like,
yeah, no question. I'm just making sure, man, because I know I'd be like, yo, putting my whole soul on the line right here. Like, I thought you would talk about me or something, bro. I was like, yo, this
oh
dude,
no, bruh, sir, I
hey
definitely
man,
have stories of work-life balance. Like, bruh,
bro.
I was trying to have a like even before, well, I mean, I was working at the job we was working at now, but it was later back in the past. I was trying to work full time, trying to go to school full time, and then on my days off, you would think, hey, this man is resting. No, I was trying to have like a social life full time. So I'm out with friends, I'm like going to parties and whatnot, living my best life. I ain't had no bills or nothing, still living with my parents, and I put miles on that vehicle, bruh. Like, whew. And it was like there was no time for rest, for real. Like my rest would be like we get some rest, people, because burnout is a real thing. Like I'll be pulling over to like the side of the road, pulling over at like gas stations or whatever that I trust, catching a couple of Z's before I had to go to work. uh it was interesting. It was fun. It was fun for me. I don't know about y'all, but it was very interesting. And then I remember I had a conversation with my mom's. Like she had came in one day. I was in the bed asleep, and she had woke me up, and she was like, she wasn't complaining, she was concerned because I was never at the house. And she was like, we only see you in passing. And I'm like, but I'm getting good grades and I'm making money. Like, I'm doing what y'all want me to do. Like, where's the beef? Why? Like, why am I in trouble right now? I'm doing the right things. I'm not in the streets. I'm not getting in trouble. I'm going to work. I come home and I go to school. That's my life.
No. There you go.
But yeah, yeah.
I
Love
learned that I had a struggle with that during my last relationship. And one of the things that I noticed was like, yo, like the key word to this work life thing is balance. Like the whole thing though, the thing that brings it all together, the key word is balance. It has to be even and equal on all sides. It doesn't have to be the same size on all sides, but as far as like the toll that it brings to you and your spirit, it has to be equal on all sides. So I learned that I had a problem with work-life balance when I was in my last relationship. And and it's quiet as it kept, bro. The same thing that was considered a problem in that relationship to my my previous significant other, it's not a problem now.
Oh, okay.
Like I always
So
thought. Go ahead.
with that, was it the environment change that you needed, or was it the something with the working and the balancing of life? Did something need to change there, or
No, nothing changed.
Nothing changed, but
Nah,
it's in a.
I still get up early. I still do what I do. Go spend about Alyssa low maintenance, bro. So she like as long as you give me a kiss good morning and tell me you love me, that's all. You tell me your plan, and we can eat breakfast together, and we can go our separate ways, and then we come back at the end of the day and just lay in bed together and watch TV for about an hour or two. At the end of the day, like she good with that. Like I ain't gotta be all up in her face. Like she ain't gotta be all up in mine. Like she come around every once in a while and say
Check
what's
in
up
on
or
you.
whatever. And she
Make sure
going
you
about her
ain't passed
business.
out.
She ain't like all up on my computer like a cat trying to jump on my keyboard and all this other stuff. Like for real, like it ain't none of that, bro. Like I'm just like, yo, like this is a completely different situation. I don't even know. Like, bro, I feel like I get to work sometimes. I forget she in the house. Like, yo, it's
Come on.
deep. Like, so I'm thankful for that. And I know a lot of people ain't necessarily got that they don't have that significant other that's going to let them do what they need to do. And there's a few tangible things that needs to happen in order for that work-life balance to be good. Because I understand why people had this thing twisted, right? One of the things, like, you got people who are man, you know what? Let me ask this question first, but like you talked about your past and like how your mom she was concerned about your life balance, right now in this stage of life right now, do you think you have it figured out? Because I know I don't have it figured out, so I ain't even gonna go there. I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that in a second. Go, yeah, you think you got it figured
Nah,
out, bro? All right.
because like, but it's more of a. I don't have it figured out, but I'm like establishing it. Because a lot of things have happened, so a lot of things need to shift, a lot of things need to change. But I I feel like most of it is a routine. Like once you get that routine down, once everybody is like has worked into that routine, uh it should, like you said, figure itself out. It should work better. But no, I ain't got that. I'm still adapting to you know, still adapting, still trying to figure it out.
Damn. So yeah, I wanted to go there first because I'm like, yo, I need to know, like, if I am I alone in this? Like, is this a one-sided thing? Like, I just all right. So yeah. Um, man, I don't even.
Because
There's a lot of things to unpack there, bro. Because like, it's a. I'm about, I'm about to I'm about to go in, dog. You better say something.
look, I ain't got much to. I mean,
What?
so
What you
I
mean?
know not much to say, but like I know for myself, um, we're transitioning into something that should like really have almost like all of us in the household like buckled down. Cause Jace just got out of school, so he's gonna be with us for the summer. So like we about to have this thing like a second school. Like we about to be homeschooling. There's gonna be sections of the day where it's just like, look, everybody's gonna be working on something. And Jace can be coloring. We can be doing whatever we need to do. Courtney starts the new job soon, so she gonna be having that. So like everybody's gonna be in they certain areas, or everybody's gonna be together, just working. Like this is about to be like a whole office building almost. Like hopefully, so yeah.
I mean, for your sanity, I hope it's not. It's like I love to be able to, and it might be a good thing that like even though y'all at home together, she actually working, and she ain't necessarily bothering you, because like one of the things that really screws up this work-life balance thing, especially for an entrepreneur, is that most times, like when you just like say you just started out and you ain't necessarily established yet, and you don't necessarily have a lot of things going on, and you're just trying to figure things out. So you might be like sitting in front of your computer for a few hours, just like looking up, like doing YouTube
Fundamentals,
stuff,
getting the basics.
researching or something,
Mm-hmm.
writing up business plans, and you ain't necessarily making no money, but the simple fact that you at home means that you available.
Mm-hmm.
All right, somebody got to catch that. The simple fact that you at home means that you available. Not everybody is going to look at everything that you do as work. So you got to make sure that you establish that ground rule right there. So like, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but yeah, like that's one thing. So like for real, like it's a good thing that she distracted with something, because this is work to us, but Courtney never looked at the podcast as work. Like she's like that little podcast thing y'all do.
Yeah, it's good to have that, especially when you have a significant other, that respect piece and work-life balance. Because like you said, many people won't see your development phase or your starting out phase as work. Because if money ain't coming in, then why are you doing that? And that goes for a lot of people's relationship, not just with their significant other, but like with friends, family. If money isn't coming in, a lot of people would ask you, well, why are you doing that? And it's funny you said work-life balance, how all that has to be equal, right? Because a lot of people will work and they have no life piece in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like this podcast, we're working towards it. We're putting our literally our life into it. Like, so it's a balance of work and the experiences that we've had, the things we're going through to better our lives, work life. That's why it goes hand in hand. But a lot of people just out here just working.
Life. They just lifing. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like it's a lot. Like you say, work-life balance. A lot of people out here doing life life balance. Like they not working at all. They just life balance. Yeah. And the reason I say that, because like, I ain't trying to jump on nobody's head, dog. But most people got the game twisted, man. I talked to one dude, bro. He been working 6 days straight for the last he been trying to work 6 days straight since the year started, bro. Like when they said that they were gonna do away with the overtime for a little while, bro. My man was talking about finding another part-time job, quitting that job, going to a different building, and I'm like, yo, you about to go through all that just for
extra hours,
and you live with your parents. So well, not he don't live with his parents, but he living with his brother or something. So he ain't got no damn bills like that. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, yo, what you need all this money for, like, or what you trying to escape? Like that's another thing. Like, what you trying to escape from, man? So like,
that's a good one.
We he had a scheduled trainer on Monday and Tuesday, whatever day that was. I don't remember. But my man, he said he was gonna come to work late, so he ain't got to do the training. I was like, all right, bet. I see you when you get here. And we came to find out the following day that the training wasn't supposed to happen until like later on in that day, like after he would have came in. So I got somebody to text my man up, let him know what was going on, and it was like, all right, so I ain't coming in today. So we got to talking the following day, and just stopping it up, like, yo, it's like, yeah, so that training, whatever happened to that, I was like, yeah, so they rescheduled it or whatever. Blase split. And he was like, yeah, I was gonna come back in for it, but I couldn't he said I just wanted to stay, ended up staying at home. He's like, I just took the day off. I was like, yeah, man, you've been working forever, man. You probably needed that. Like you ain't had but 10 days off this whole entire year, bro. It's like the year halfway up already. You ain't got but 10 days off the whole year. So like you probably deserve that, man. And he's like, what you I was like, what you do? He's just like, I just watch TV and watch anime all day. I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So he pretty much waited to come back to work. He just pretty much just like stalled the day away so he can come back to his real life, which is work.
That's a sad
that went
life
over
to
your head.
live.
I'll let that one slide.
That
That went
is
over
a
your head.
sad life to live. Like my man's talking to my man's. I'm like, it's all right. So he can start a conversation, right? If it's something that y'all both are interested in, uh, and then like in the conversation, it'll get to a point where it just dies. Like if it gets anywhere off something he's interested in, or if you start talking about like life, family, anything that the work life balance, the life aspect, the after you get off this job, what are you doing? What are your plans for life? It dies. The conversation dies. Like the expression on his face, it just gets stale and sour, and it's just like, yo, do you plan on like living?
You don't.
Like
You don't.
like I remember on a previous episode, I told y'all that like I was kind of joking about the guy that Mac was talking about, joking about like how he should like visit his father, go outside, throw the ball, because he didn't really have that growing up. And I'm like, bro, y'all like our neighbors, like you don't just go over there and like just reconnect, like try to establish something with your father, like you don't. Nah, you just don't go over there, just watch TV with your mans, like catch a game, just nah. He's usually busy, he usually has someone over or something, or like, I'm just like,
I think there's a
eh,
little seated animosity. There's a little part of the story that he probably didn't say, but that's a part of a different conversation.
but he said he was a good guy. It was just, his mom's kept him away from his father for whatever reason, and then
That's
they.
why I said it's a little bit more to that story.
All right.
Yeah. So yeah, bro. I had to learn that lesson real fast, bro. Cause man, and one of the things is like, yo, like you don't necessarily need like this. Who is this conversation for right now? This conversation is for people who actually need a work life balance. So like if you single,
Yeah.
and and you ain't got much going on, like quiet as kept, like you don't really need to have this conversation with nobody. Like this ain't this ain't nothing you need to sit down and have like Mark said somebody's mom, like yo, you don't need that. You need to discuss with your mom what you got going on in your day-to-day activities. Like that's not necessarily something that need to happen. But like if your mom is requiring some kind of time commitment, then obviously there needs to be some kind of switch up. But
Right.
like for real,
Have
like
that conversation.
if you a single man, live on your own, and you just doing your thing, like for real, like you ain't about to have this conversation with nobody. You ain't about to sit up here looking in your mirror like, yo, you need to live, you need to do your thing a little bit. Like, nah, bro, you whatever you feel like you want to do, you can just do it. So like when you get into when you get into a relationship, bro, that's when it's really serious. Like there's a few other exceptions. Like if you got some mental health struggles, like and you single, and we need to have a conversation about work-life balance. That's a whole different topic, a whole different conversation. We need to get with you on a whole different situation because like for like people who mentally lock themselves in into work too much that they can't enjoy their lives, that they can't figure themselves out like that. That's a completely different problem. That's not a work-life balance problem. That's a self-worth issue. So we ain't even gonna talk about that. But it's when those little things in life start picking up, and you get into that relationship, and you and your significant other, y'all live together, or even if y'all don't, like your significant other obviously needs some kind of time commitment from you. So like those are the times where you need to like look at and evaluate everything that's going on. So like let's start throwing some tangible stuff, some practical stuff out there, Mark, because just to make sure that we actually addressing this issue and not bouncing around in circles with this conversation. So with that being said, like what is the biggest problem that you think, like what is the biggest problem with this work-life balance? Like what is the biggest issues that most people come across that you think?
I'd say their focus is always mainly geared towards money.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, like you said, people are just, going to work. They don't really have that connection with their significant other because they feel like they need money to solve their problems, to solve the issues that they're going through, or they look at work to solve that issue that they have internally, or that issue that they're having with their life. We've seen it plenty of
Yeah.
times. I've been to many a jobs where there's guys that are they have a wife at home, but they're more invested or more married to their work, to the job. uh I even had one dude, he was like, yo, I'm just here because I have things going on at home that I'm trying to escape from. And I'm like, I mean, your shift ends in like a couple of hours. Like you gotta deal with that regardless. Like it's home. Like work is work, but home is home. Like work life balance. You gotta deal with life regardless. But people try to, it's like you said, it has to be a balance. Like picture it as a scale, right? Uh when life is shaky, you try to put more into work, but life is still, it's still here, it's still there. You still gotta,
You know
equal
different than
that
the
jank out.
dude. You know different than the dude drinking to solve his personal problems.
Facts.
You
Just
know
like that.
different.
Just like that guy. Just like the people that turn to drugs to ease the pain of whatever they're going through. Uh the people that can blow through a bag of weed within a week, like they smoking every day because they trying to numb something or become numb to something, trying to forget something, trying to get that first high or something. It, it's a balance. Like the equalness that you put in life is the equalness you need to put into work, and vice versa. Like it's gonna all hit the same. Like it work isn't going anywhere. Uh your life isn't going anywhere, and you masking it is, it's just gonna be as negative as, well, it's not gonna be as negative, but it's gonna be more negative than just dealing with it. Just figuring out what you need to do to work through it, get over it, whatever you need to solve it. Like you avoiding the problem is gonna make it 10 times worse than you sitting there trying to solve the problem. If that makes sense.
All right, you answered the question and some. So
Oh, my bad.
so I was trying to get to a few like an actual point. I actually lost that point somewhere in the middle of your discussion
Right.
about that. Ooh we.
So sorry.
No, you good. So
Mhm.
Mark said the biggest issue is what now?
Money.
Simple answer. Some money. All right. So yeah, I don't really think it's a problem. Like I'm just being real with you. Like the pursuit for money is not necessarily an issue. And but there is in the thought of what you, oh man, like this, that one right there. That
Mhm.
all right. So if to say that my pursuit of financial freedom being the cause of
Mhm.
of the demise of my first marriage being a problem versus somebody like Grant Cardone who's married with 2 kids, happily married with 2 kids, and both him and his spouse have that same passion for financial freedom, and that, you know, they both had that same drive for that financial freedom. So like, am I really wrong though for pursuing financial freedom the way I was when I was living in a trailer with more family members than I needed to? Am I really wrong for that?
I
Help me
would
out here, bro.
no, and it's interesting you said that, right? Because well, you use that example of Grant Cardone, because even there, uh, they both have that same passion, so it's balanced. The relationship is balanced, um, and it gets even biblical because you made me think of a pastor said a long time ago, like when you're looking for a wife, when you're looking for that significant other, you know, you guys have to be equally yoked, which means like you can't be basically a Christian trying to marry someone of the world because your values, your morals, they're not gonna line up. Uh, so I would say, I guess that would be also the biggest problem also with your pursuit for money.
Difference in values, yeah.
You will bump heads regardless. Like I want financial freedom, but this person wants to spend
I don't
money
know
as
what the
soon as
fuck
they
she
get it.
wanted.
But
I don't know what the fuck she wanted. I can't even tell you. Like I like just thinking back on some of the stuff. Like I was like talking to Alyssa, and like when you talk to Alyssa, you can clearly tell what Alyssa wants out of life. You like she wants time when she wants time. Like she don't sugarcoat it. Like she might beat around the bush a little bit, but like you can clearly tell what she wants by just like paying attention. Or this with my ex, bro, I couldn't figure it out. Like it was almost like she was like trying to be a chameleon and adapt to everything that I was trying to say, but at the same time be a shark in her own environment. I'm like, yo, I don't know what you want. So like it was a whole bunch of misleading stuff that it was taking me in a whole bunch of different directions. And at the end of the day, I was just like, yo, I don't know which direction to really go to because like this way is wrong only at a certain time of the day. Like being spending time with you is right now, but it'll be wrong when the bank account empty. Like, you know what I mean? Like when a car get repossessed, it's like, yo, it's like I was trying to prevent this by, you know, working a lot, but then you proceeded to tell me that I'm working too much. So like we have a little bit of an issue here. So like there's a lot of things like or you know, when those hours got cut at work and I was at home more often and I was trying to do this stuff, you wanted to go spend money that I wasn't actually making. So like it was a lot of contradictions. And sometimes, man, like I think for the most part, like couples have to be able to sit down and have that conversation like, yo, this is what I need, this is what I want. And I don't even know if people really understand that this is really a thing, but like for real, you in a relationship, look up your love language, fam. Look up your love language, like for real. Like that'll tell you a lot about your significant other and even yourself most of the time, because some people don't even realize that they want certain things and or why they want certain things. They don't understand what their drivers are. I think we just been lucky enough to stumble across the flight assessment, man. The flight assessment still changing my life today. So I can shout out to your boy Dr. Eric Thomas, man. But the flight assessment, man, when I looked at that, I was like, yo, I understand why she does what she does now. I understand what her motives are. Then when I figured out what her love language was, boy, that was it. The game was over at that point. I was like, I got the cheat codes, fam. I got the cheat codes. But look, for real, what that allowed me to do, it allowed me to come up with a plan to come up with a plan to do everything that I needed to do and get done get those things done in the amount of time that I have, and focus on catering to my relationship at the same time. And some of y'all don't have that because you haven't intentionally worked towards that.
How are you gonna say you don't have it figured out? You just said you...
So look, there's no secret now. There's no secret now, right? Like, there's always room to grow. So I say I don't have it. I say I don't have it figured out because there's sometimes cues that I miss. Like right now, Alyssa's pregnant, so I can't do the same things that I was once doing because she needs a little bit more attention. Granted, it ain't much now. It ain't much now, but at some point it's gonna change. Not only that, but there's going to be a baby coming in. Like newborn kids to the world, like they need a lot of attention, and so right now I have to make a shift to accommodate those things. There's things that need to things that need to take place. So like that's why I said I don't have it figured out. But yeah,
okay, all right. But I mean, you basically have the base work, the foundation for it. Because all it is planning, figuring out what everyone needs or what you need even also in there, and then work towards that. Make a routine, make a system where all the boxes are checked for everybody. Your boxes, her boxes, the kids' boxes. And you do that on repeat. You adjust what you need to, and you keep moving forward. It's like a train with many carts on it. Like once all the carts are good or all the carts are full, you oil that bad boy up and you keep on chugging along. Put the fire in where it needs to go in, and you moving. Like but a lot of people they get stuck on themselves, or they catastrophize over this one little problem, and they derail the whole thing, and then you sitting in this mess. You don't want to fix it because you feel like you're the only one that's working towards it, or there's not a equal balance with you or the your partner or whatever. You're doing one thing, you feel like you're putting all this energy into it, and they're just there, and then y'all bumping heads because you feel like one person is doing more than the other, and then it's just it's catastrophic.
And to that point, like I personally don't believe that everybody is compatible when it comes to this. Like that's just my personal opinion. Like I believe that, y'all can work through it. But like at a certain point, if there's more taking than there is giving, then I believe that there are people who would take more than what they can actually give, and they'll stay out of balance because they ain't trying to give. Like I do believe that there are some people who are incompatible in that regard. But like Mark said, like it takes an intentional effort
on both parts.
Like it takes intentional effort to figure that thing out. Like, relationships are about compromise. But the thing that kills most people relationship is that the compromise is usually coming from one side, at all fault of the other. Now, it's one thing, like, for real, it's one thing if you gotta work a little bit harder to accommodate your significant other when they down. But it's another thing to say, like, I gotta accommodate my situation because my significant other ain't doing a damn thing. Like they just want to live. They just want to do whatever. Like, for real, in my previous situationship, I was the only one focused on our future, and there was no give on the other side. And obviously, based on how things turned out, I realized very, very quickly that the reason why she wasn't working towards the same thing I was working towards, and I mean that being a future for our family, was because she wasn't investing in that. So like y'all got to come to an agreement where you can sit down. Like Alyssa and I have a business meeting that we need to have in a few minutes. Like, well, not in a few minutes. I doubt if I can get her to wake up. But whenever she's out of mommy brain and she can actually get up out of bed, we gonna go sit down over breakfast and have a business meeting and strategize over the next 6 months what we want the rest of the year to look like before the baby comes. So like
that's what's up.
So like you gotta be able to do stuff like that, right? Like it's not all about just living and just being and existing. Like you actually have to be intentional about the things that you do in your life. There's one thing that I need people to remember is that there's 86,400 seconds in every single day. And every single day you wake up, it's almost like the universe puts that into your bank account and you have to spend it every single day. You have to spend it every single day. But here's the thing about that 86,400 seconds. When you wake up in the next day, you don't get it back. You get a new 86,400, but you don't get no rollover. You don't get no there's no savings bonds on that. There's no CDs on you don't get all that. Like you just have that. So you had to spend it wisely. So you can't spend all of your time. Like I mean, you can be in the happiest relationship in the world. I promise you can. But you can't spend all of your time in your relationship. It's just not how things work. Like they're on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You got air, water, food, like and all those shits cost. Like we breathing right now and somebody taxing us for it. Like we ain't even got an oxygen tank and we still paying for oxygen. Like I don't know how they make it work, but legally they can do that. So everything got a cost. So like you're gonna have to like there has to be some kind of work going on. But at the same time, it's like, what are you working on? That's why all this stuff is important. Like we're not even having this conversation by accident. This conversation was intentional. Like everything that we do has to be intentional. Every move that we make has to be intentional. Like we can't just go to work every day and just expect the paycheck to just last us forever. Like we can't do that. Like you can't, like obviously the dude that we talked about earlier, like dude worked every single day. He worked 6 days a week for as long as the job allowed him, and he still ain't got no money. If that man had a spouse, they will be pissed.
Beat his ass.
They will be pissed. You did all this work. You went to work all this time and you still ain't got no money. Why is this kept, Mark? There are people who got spouses and still work as much as he do.
Thanks.
And then you get to a point where you start complaining about finances. Boy, you better not complain about no damn finances as much as you work. You better be happy as a clam about that money that you make. You better not complain, not one. I better not hear goddamn complain as much as your ass at work. But you complaining about your finances because you haven't sought out that need to fulfill your life's purpose. So because you don't fulfill your life's purpose, it comes back to, but you could have been spending that overtime, the overtime hours working on your life's purpose. Granted, you won't go make no money at the beginning, but damn,
at least
work-life balance gone.
Right,
it's gone. Like you just spent it. So you spending then you work for 60 hours a week, and then you still trying to do your life's purpose on the side, and you still trying to do your relationship. So you like 60 hours a week, 20 hours on life purpose. You need 40 hours of sleep. 2 hours for your relationship. Like how you think that's gonna look?
that math ain't mathing.
That ain't mathing.
Yeah. It's wild. Like a lot of people they don't get it. And you need to have that balance just for not only, your sanity, your peace of mind, but for whoever's connected to you. Like even a single person, they still need that rest. They still need that downtime. you can't be up for hours and hours and hours working, or trying to do your life piece, and then forget to rest, or just decompress. Like you need that. Like after all that information that's came in, after all that work you've done, whether it was laborious or sitting in front of a screen, like you need rest. Like your eyes need to close, bruh. Like it, I wear glasses now, but still, even with the blue filter, after sitting in front of a screen for so long, or just working for so long, just be burning.
I can't afford it.
Right.
I can't afford I can't afford that shit, Marcus. Somebody, I don't know what he's talking about right now. Like,
what you mean?
Wrestling. Nah, he right though. He right.
I mean, you ain't gotta sleep for
I get
hours,
rest,
but
I don't get too much sleep though. Like some of y'all adore sleeping. Some of y'all adore sleeping, but you adore your goals too. So like you trying to sleep until 8 o'clock and still be successful. And then your significant other pissed because you spending too much time at work. And you wake up in the morning at 8 o'clock and your kids also get up at 8. So
when you gonna work? When you gonna get
when you plan on
that
working?
life purpose?
When you plan on working? Like I'm trying to figure that part out, because I'm like I get up at 4 for a reason. I ain't. Mark don't go to sleep for a reason. That man still ain't been to bed.
I'll tell you, the formula you got now is perfect. Like best time to get work done. House is quiet. Everybody sleep. You ain't got nobody. You ain't got to be available to nobody.
I used to do the all nighter boy though, but I don't like sleeping when the sun up. So well, it ain't the fact that I don't like sleeping when the sun up. My body can't do it, bro. Once the sun come up, man, that's it. That's it, bro.
You got the perfect yard for it. Get you a little hammock. Put your little hammock out there. Get some sun rays.
Oh no, I'm definitely not sleeping in my yard, bro. We got mosquitoes in this neighborhood like it ain't nothing. Damn. I'll wake up like a blimp.
Thanks.
I mess around and float off the hammock. But yo, for real, like one thing that used to piss me off though, and like this is going back into just be complaining about this whole situation, but one thing that used to piss me off when I was in my ex relationship with my ex was when she used to tell me that she used to say this. She would say that I didn't care about her, or well, how she put it. She said that you'll spend most time. It was almost like she tried to use my principles that I was learning against me. She told me that you spend the most time with the things that you prioritize the most. So she was like, you spending so much time with your business, that means that your business is more important than your relationship with me.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right, so people like that, because like I feel like the only reason people like that will call you out on something as trivial as that is because like either they ain't got nothing going on themselves, or
she had plenty going on. That's the problem. That's the thing I was confused about.
Really? Because I feel like
she had a whole relationship on the outside of our marriage. Like she had plenty going on. Yeah. Plenty. Why you checking for me? Why you even bothering me? Go to your boyfriend. Like, what are we even talking about here?
I was gonna go to the crab in the bucket route. Like they ain't really got much going on, and they don't want to see you like, because if you did become like successful, a lot of people get in the mentality, which is crazy. It's wild. Like I got with you for a reason, but like for some reason, somewhere you started to feeling like if I became too successful, or since you're not on the same level as me, if I get too successful, I'm gonna feel like dropping you because I'm doing better. But if I'm doing better, we're doing better.
Oh, that's a
So
woman thing, bro. I don't know what that is. I because in a certain type of way, I had the same kind of conversation with Alyssa too, and I'm like, I don't really know
really,
what you thinking about here. Like, yeah, it was a little less aggressive than I had it before, but like what my ex, it was like just she was like hostile about it, like just like you going into all these new territories and I don't fit in here, and I'm like, but we can adjust that. Like that's not a problem. Like what do you mean? Like you can't you don't. But I don't know. Like, but Alyssa was just worried about the fact of because like it's a common thing. Like let's not even act like it don't exist. Like that that help them up the ladder. They don't necessarily they don't necessarily prioritize that relationship anymore. So like, you come into new territories and new business ventures and new environments and things, and like, your circle changes. So a part of that circle also includes the woman that you with. Like sometimes, like I get it. I understand why she asked that question. Like hell, like you even seen it happen in one of in a movie once, like the Founder, the movie about Ray Kroc. That man, it was the same situation there. Wolf of Wall Street. My man got successful, and the woman that he was with from the beginning, she won't bout it no more. Like he's like I found a little bit better, and like the thing was is like they went into new environments and new territories, and they found a woman that they found her there. They found their new piece, their new women in the environment. So like they understood more, they could relate more, things of that nature. Like, so I understand where it came from. But my ex was malicious with it. So it's like I don't really care. Like I already saw plenty of red flags there. So, we weren't about to there was no fixing that.
okay,
But I
okay.
think it's just a woman thing. Like I understand it. But that's also part of that work-life balance too. Like, so like the problem with that, these guys when they and I'm pretty sure that if you look a little bit, like if you search the internet deep enough, you could probably find some kind of literature talking about their relationships with their new women. Even Jeff Bezos is one of the people that I'm thinking about who recently went through the same situation. The wife that he was with when Amazon was in the garage back somewhere in I think it was La Jolla, California. I don't know where it was, San Jose. I don't know. It was somewhere in California. He was in the garage while starting on Amazon. He was with that woman, and a few years ago they filed for divorce. He took half of the company, and well, not half of the company, but she took half of his money, and now he with a new woman. But what we come to find out is that the new woman is as business savvy as he is, and she have his age. So like it, it, you know and I'm pretty sure he met her working. It just through a work thing. Like I'm pretty sure that was the case there. Like people think that she's just a young pretty face, but like in reality, I'm pretty sure that he didn't just meet her somewhere on the street. He didn't just like he won't like at some like random ass Best Buy and saw one of the associates there and was like, you know what, I gotta have her. Like I'm pretty sure there was some kind of she's someone of high status, but we just don't know about it, or they just not trying to say it because we talk about Jeff Bezos. But like for real, all these guys share something in common. They spent a lot of time on their work, but they didn't spend enough time on their life. So I'm pretty sure you will find on the internet somewhere, if you search deep enough, that these guys that they have that when that happened, they were spending a lot of time in the office and not enough time at home. It's like for real, you could find yourself in a situation where you spend so much time on work that you forget about home. And like people with home offices, like you can be sitting in front of your computer and you can be working for so long that you forget where you at. Like I've seen it happen before. Like I've done it. I was bouncing back and forth between library computer, home computer, work computer at one point. Like, yo, for real, like I was like bouncing back and forth between all these different screens, and even shit, sending the car on my phone, working on my phone, like and bruh, I mistook where I was. I was like, yo, what's going on here? Granted, I was in a relationship where I was trying to get out of anyway, so it didn't really make a difference then. But I knew that at some point something had to give, because I wouldn't be happy in another relationship unless I fixed that. So this is not just a conversation about how much you work versus how much you spend time having fun. And like adversely to that, like if you spend too much time living your life, you don't build up any income. So like that's a whole different conversation in of itself. Like you wanted to party more than you wanted to actually do work. That's a whole different part of the conversation. But like this isn't just like, I don't want y'all to take this lightly, man. Because this is a real life thing. Like there's people who are getting in relationships. There are people who are made for each other, but for whatever reason they can't compromise on anything. So they just leave. They split up. So it like, and I promise you, there is a way to figure it out. The only thing that you had to do is sit down with your significant other, figure out what they need. Y'all actually had to talk about it. Make it an effort to talk about it. Spend time in your household, and everything will be fine, man.
Yeah, yeah. To clear up some things, you know, in those relationships, there has to be an equal give or take. If there isn't, then yeah, you might
Yeah,
need to
yeah, I forgot about that.
reevaluate that staying piece. Because
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, so it when is it okay? Like, when is it okay to, I ain't gonna say leave, but like in the Jeff Bezos case, right? Uh, maybe he was just he got to a point where, you know, his wife maybe wasn't, well, his previous wife wasn't trying to be at, or wanted to be at, or could handle. So like
Mm.
when you become that successful, or when you get to a certain point in life, do you, all right, before I go further, do I turn back around and be like, hey, do I work with my significant other, my business partner? Do I work with them to get them to where I'm at now and then move forward? Or
So in his case, I think it was a situation of the damage had already been done.
mm-hmm.
So there was no reconciliation. I think there was and I could be mistaken about this, but I'm sorry. I think I saw an article somewhere about her having a relationship, an extramarital relationship outside of him. I'm not really sure how true that is, but I think at some point, like if you don't deal with it up front, and like he could have just been with her for the image, like just to say, I'm in a happy relationship. I'm the owner of this company, and this company is growing. Politically, we got to stay together. You know what I mean?
I
So
feel it,
like
yeah.
it could have been one of those type of situations. But I think at some point, like Amazon had a meteoric rise. Meteoric. I mean, it went from ground floor to subfloor to like skyscraper
Streaming
in like 10
services.
years, bro.
Uh,
In less than 10 years. Like your head chief and staff had to be there for that. Like he
Thanks.
was in the house for all that. Like he was there. This man was traveling to every building every time it opened at one point. Like this, like he was in the fold. So like I think at some point he damaged his relationship a long time ago by being who he is. And unfortunately that's one of the consequences of success. If you're not intentional about um that about keeping your relationship intact. However, there's good news. There's people who are doing it.
being successful and keeping a relationship intact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are successful examples. You can go find them. You can go check them out.
That is true. That is true. All right. 5:55. I don't know when we started this thing. Do we got a timer?
We've been on for a little over an hour.
A little over an hour. All right. All right. So find find that work-life balance, people. Just everything needs to be equal around the board. Like it's imagine like a pie chart or you're given a equal amount of percentage to each and every part of your life, whether it be taking care of yourself, taking care of your loved one, and taking care of your finances. Like everything needs to be equal around the board. If not, there's going to be a flux. There's going to be a derailing, a mix up with emotions, with that person. Yes, address those elephants, because
it's going to be an elephant in the room if you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't nip it in the butt, it's just gonna grow and grow, and then there's gonna be a big problem that needs to be addressed, that needs to be solved. Figure it out. Don't be afraid to sit down and figure out what each person needs. Like a relationship is a relationship. It's a coming together and being with a person or a business or whatever, and it needs as much time as you're putting into yourself. That job needs it, that person needs it, that life's purpose, it needs it. It definitely needs it, because like you're not going to go anywhere, or you're not going to grow that into a successful business, or you're not going to be a successful entrepreneur until you sit down, put in the work, put in the time, and do it.
All right. If you're done trying to get the last word, we can go ahead and get in this.
Oh, I thought you had something left. I heard my bad. All right. So Mac, what we got coming up for the people, sir?
But nothing at the moment, man. I'm gonna spend this weekend after I get all my schoolwork done, of course. But spend this weekend working on finishing my book 5, man. I'm on the last few chapters now. I'd have let this thing drag on way longer than I wanted it to. So I'm gonna go ahead and intentionally get that done. Start working on some deadlines. One of the things that we need to talk about when I get Alyssa up is deadlines for some of the projects we got coming up, and we're looking to start pushing her brand soon, so that we can open up this women empowerment thing, man. Like, yo, I'm excited about that. For like, we've come a long way, right? It's like at one point, like Alyssa, if you remember, like I remember episode, what was it, episode 6, episode 7, when we were recording on, like, I think it was like New Year's Day or something like that. Was it New Year's Day? New Year's Eve or some shit? I can't remember. I know we were still in the apartment, and Courtney and Alyssa were standing behind the camera. They didn't want to get on. I remember we were on live, and like I remember Alyssa was like, nope, I ain't doing it. Nope. And we went from that to she gets on the podcast, and she didn't like to get on the podcast, but she did it anyway because I wanted her to, because I wanted her point of view. We went from that to I'll do the podcast whenever you need me to. We went from that to, I'm here. Just ask me. She's just like, now she's like about to start a whole brand around this women empowerment thing, and this like with the introvert extrovert thing being the forefront of it, man. So like I'm so proud of her, man, and her accomplishments. But like that's one of the things that we have coming up. our biggest point that we're talking about now with this whole thing is starting off a entire brand for her under Essential Media that focuses on women empowerment, because not everybody wants to address the elephant the same way we do, and I understand that. So yeah, man, with us with us talking about this biography that I'm doing for Bree soon, and that conversation is going to have to happen next week. With us talking about that, like I was thinking about what platform do we need to put that on? Like who needs to forefront that? And I'm like, yo, that would, like, Alyssa's brand would be the perfect thing for that. And like that gives her a built-in partner to work with. So like it's a lot of work on the front end, but I'm thinking about like on the back end, bro, it's gonna be
be
a
dope.
slice of cake.
Word. That's dope. That's dope. Anything with women, It's a
good thing Courtney don't listen to the podcast. That really wrong.
That, like, no, they really need it. Like a lot of times, is society itself already puts them up against each other, and like,
oh my God, yes.
When they have a creative space where they could all work together like peacefully, they do so much. They can get so much accomplished. Like it's ridiculous how so competitive they are. Like I know all these shows are out there that devalues that puts that to shame. Like Bad Girls Club, all these shows where they put these
working at
very ratchet women in this one house and they got to live together, and it's just all chaos and drama. This person sleeps with this person's boyfriend and all this other stuff, and I'm just like, yo, where's the unity? Like,
and working for Amazon,
it's so freaking ridiculous. But no, that is great. Not much coming in on my end. Today will be the first day of Jace's summer, so definitely gonna see how that plays out. See how he is around the house, like 24/7. What areas or what time of the day do we need, like, the downtime? What time of the day do we need, the work piece?
You gotta have 8 months to prepare for this, so no excuses.
True. The school already gave him like a little workbook, so we already got like, the starter piece, and then we just gonna add on to that. They've already given us an assessment of, like what he needs to work on, what he was struggling with in school, what he excelled in school. Man is awesome with numbers. Like he got the number thing down. Like he was the only one counting to 100. He was helping other students out, with their math problems and all this other stuff. I'm like, yo, what? Awesome. Yeah. So we go.
I would like to say that I already can't wait for my little one to go to school. I already can't wait.
He's like, just ship him off. Alyssa gonna be crying, my baby. You just like, get it, go, get in there.
Oh. Got what you need? All right, cool.
I can only imagine. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It's me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. And before we go, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all. And always remember, those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.